Hey there, so today I thought I would do a video on an odd piece of hardware that I came across, and it's the Castlewood ORB Drive. This is the 2.2 gigabyte model, came out in 1999, and yeah, so it's a removable hard disk. So inside here is a platter, a hard disk platter, and the format it goes up to, or the size it goes up to, is 2.2 gigabytes. I say up to because if I format this in Windows, I only get 1.5 gigabytes, and if I format it in a Mac, which is what I'm using, I get 2 gigabytes, and I just think that's strange. That's not to say that the Mac is better or anything. That was just my observation. That's what happened. I formatted it in Windows, 1.5 gigabytes, formatted it in Mac, and 2 gigabytes. So yeah, I'm going to be using it with the Mac anyway, so no problem for me. What I've done with this drive is it's supposed to be internal, but I've sort of bodged together an enclosure and made it external. This was originally a tape drive. It was connected by a FireWire, so it had its own power supply and a FireWire adapter in the back. I tried this with the FireWire adapter, but it just wasn't working. I suppose that's because the adapter was designed for a tape drive, which this is not. So when it tried talking to the, let's call it talking, when it was talking between the two, something was getting stuck somewhere, and maybe a command or something, I don't know. But the drive would come up, and but when I was finished, the disk would erase itself. Strange as fuck. So that's what happened there. So what I ended up doing is this power supply is not connected anymore. It's still in here though. There's a USB adapter in the back, and it had its own power supply, so that's hooked up, and then I had to move the switch to the front here so I could turn it on and off. So that's that really. So if I just turn it on, there we go, and if I just get the cartridge. An interesting thing about this that I came across on the Wikipedia when I was looking up this drive, the Wikipedia says that the drive purges all air from itself. I don't know how it does this. I don't know if it's true. I don't plan on testing it, because if it is true, the only way I can see myself testing it is by removing, sort of taking it apart, and that would just kill the drive, especially if it does purge air from itself like that. I'll end up cracking something or some crap like that, and I'll never be able to use the drive again. So yeah, so I'm not testing it. It says it does it on the Wikipedia, so let's just assume that it does it. There is sort of signs that it does do something like that. Around the door here there's like a rubber seal, and so I'm just going to assume that it does it and work on that. So I have to push the cartridge in and then down, and it locks into the mechanism, and I sort of push the flap closed a bit just to make sure. Now when the light goes green is the only time I can plug the USB cable in, because if I plug it in before then, the disc never shows up. So I'll wait for it to be ready. Alright, now I can plug it in, and it's down here on the floor. Okay, so I plugged it in, and it should take a couple of seconds. There we go. There we go. So, ORB disk, as I've adequately named it. To be honest, I was going to call it something silly like Dicks. You know, who doesn't want their drive called Dicks? But, you know, I decided against it. So, so yeah. So, I am going to use this for a project, and I've already started the project, and it's all sort of in here. It's all in this special file, and I'm not going to open it. Maybe it's full of dicks. No, really guys, it's not full of dicks. Just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So, it's all in there. The transfer rate is not bad, but compared to today, it is noticeably slow. So what I'll do is I've got a 30 megabyte folder here, full of electro swing. 30 megabytes, and we'll see how long it takes to copy. So let's go. 1, 2. Oh, do you know what? You can count. I can hear the drive clicking away. And that's done. Now I would try and play some of that just to show you that it works, but YouTube Content ID will probably be all over that. But I have tried it. I've played videos from this as well. There's not one bit of stuttering or lag or anything. It just works. So yeah, so I suppose that has been the Castlewood ORB Drive. If I just eject it. Eject. Ah, I know something to mention. Now that I've ejected it, I'll show you. Okay, so I've ejected the volume, or the mount point, whatever you Mac geeks want to call it. I just call it the disc. So I've ejected the disc. And now what I can do is, now I can press this button. And the disc will come out. Come out. Anyway. My mind goes to weird places. So, now that the disc is out. Now, you would think that I could just put this disc in, or one of these discs in, and it would work, right? No. No, it doesn't. And I'll show you why. If we open Disk Utility... Where have you gone? Utilities... Disk Utility. If I just slowly zoom in, and you can see what the problem is. See where it says ORB disk? Why is it still there? I've ejected it. But the drive, even though I've ejected the volume, now I suppose this is the drive's fault. I can't really blame the Mac for this. I think it's the drive's fault. When I pressed the eject button, the drive never told the computer that I took the disk out. I don't know if it just can't do that, or if it just doesn't. But what that means is, all I have to do is turn it off. Okay, it's gone now. And then I can turn it on again, put the disc in. Well, I have to remove the USB cable as well. Put the disc in, wait for it to load, put the USB cable back in, then it works as normal. That's the only problem that I've had with this drive so far, apart from the FireWire thing that I mentioned. So yeah, so I guess that's been the Castlewood ORB Drive. Hope you enjoyed the video and it was of some sort of interesting value. Feel free to like to let me know. And I'll be doing a few more videos like this. The next video I think I'll discuss the iOmega Rev Drive, and how, while this is newer, that it's taken some of the technology sort of with it, and yeah, so I'll discuss that in the next video perhaps, and I'll see